Alright, you don't want to miss this one. Monique isn't just an actress, she's a force of nature. Known for her no-nonsense attitude and killer performances, she's never been afraid to speak her mind, even when it upsets the higher-ups in Hollywood. From calling out unfair treatment to revealing their double standards, she exposed a lot of bigwigs in the industry as she went on Club Shay Shay. Before I get into it with the video, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell for more discussions just like this.
I would say before you tell me, did you hurt somebody?
Okay, yes.
Before you tell me, is this something that would make me question your character? Before you tell me, you got to be clear about what you get ready to tell me. Because if you're getting ready to tell me something and I know that you've done something wrong, I know that you're wrong, and I not say anything. That's why people are allowed to keep harming people for years to come. See Harvey Weinstein?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of people that knew what was happening.
But they felt it wasn't their place.
It wasn't
their place.
Them. Right, until it becomes you. But when we get into a space where we say, listen, if I know you're doing wrong, and I take a position that's not my place, eventually you will succumb to what you support.
You know what's interesting? Many actors and insiders knew about these hidden truths, but only a handful of them are willing to speak out. Why? Well, because the cost of going against the system is too high. Those who dare to step out of line can find their careers at risk, their reputations tarnished, or worse, completely blacklisted. Over time, the pressure to conform becomes overwhelming, whether it's endorsing a certain ideology or keeping quiet about shady dealings. Many in Hollywood find themselves playing along simply to survive. It's easier to go with the flow than to risk everything by pushing back. It's no secret that Hollywood operates on a go-along-to-get-along mentality, and that's exactly why so many people choose to remain silent even when they know things are wrong. Monique also talked about how the industry works on looks and marketability. Watch how she describes it here next.
See, I think that's the problem that we're dealing with right now, Shannon.
Okay.
When we know something is wrong, everything Cat Williams sat here and said,
right,
we all know it to be the truth. However, we get so caught up in, well, I ain't gonna say nothing.
Right.
Well, can you believe he said it? Or can you?
Or it's the messenger.
It's the messenger, baby. We get so caught up in the messenger that we'll overlook the message. People have a hard time hearing a 5'5" giant tell the truth. People have a hard time with a black woman over 200 pounds tell the truth, because people that look like us, we should just be grateful we got invited to the party.
Right.
We should just be grateful that someone paid us attention. I've dealt with that my whole life.
Hollywood has always been about image and appearances. The glitz, the glamour, and the perfectly polished faces on screen are designed to sell a dream. But when someone dares to break the illusion and call out the industry's darker side, it's the messenger that gets attacked, especially if they don't fit the Hollywood standard. Let's expand on the Cat Williams case, shall we? He also appeared on Club Shay Shay earlier this year and exposed a lot of Hollywood's dark secrets. He was one of the first people who predicted P. Diddy's wrongdoings were going to come out. But instead of focusing on what he said, some media outlets published articles bashing him. For instance, Newsweek released an article titled Cat Williams Fall and Rise, while Clutch Point's article was about Kevin Hart's response to his allegations, and it was titled Kevin Hart Calmly Responds to Insane Testimony by Cat Williams. Do you see how they're trying to paint him as someone who's crazy? Well, Monique also talked about how there's a lack of integrity in the industry, and she did it in a very hilarious fashion.
So when you get to a space where you say, listen, I want to be free. I want to be free. I don't want to walk around intimidated, scared, fearful. What might happen? What they going to say? What they going to do? If it's your story and it's the truth, tell it. Because what you can do is be in a position to prevent it happening to someone else over and over and over again. If you tell me something and we know it's wrong, but you're going to pin that on somebody else, is that right?
No, it's not right.
And what would your Aunt Mary do?
Man, Monique, I swear, Monique.
You're not answering my question. What would your Aunt Mary do?
Well, she gonna tell it because you gonna tell anything anyway. So yeah, they probably know not to tell her.
But that's why you love Aunt Mary, because Aunt Mary kept it in check.
This lack of moral backbone has become a defining trait of Hollywood, where many are trapped in a culture where staying relevant and maintaining success require bending or even breaking moral codes. one of the main reasons of this massive pressure to fit into the mold that the industry demands. You see, in order to climb the ladder of success, actors, directors, and producers have to play along with the system even if it goes against their personal values. By the way, I've noticed that you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel yet, so what are you waiting for? Another layer to this is the hypocrisy of those who publicly preach virtue but act differently behind closed doors. For instance, many stars use their platforms to push these ideologies, all while participating in an industry that thrives on superficiality, exploitation, and a lack of accountability. And once you've accepted or participated in the darker side of Hollywood, it's hard to get out. The fear of losing opportunities or being blacklisted keeps many from speaking up or changing their ways. Integrity doesn't seem to hold much value when your career is on the line, and Monique exposed one of the big names who has fallen victim to this mentality.
People have a problem with people that says, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. And that causes a ruckus, and you would say, why are people upset with the truth? When you hear Steve Harvey say there are repercussions when you tell the truth. Well, remember when we were children? What would your grandmother tell you?
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, because if not, there will be what? Repercussions.
Right.
Well, now it's got turned around. When you tell the truth, there'll be repercussions. So what's the opposite of that? Should I tell a lie and get a reward?
That is absolutely true. Hollywood's gatekeepers aren't interested in someone who rocks the boat. They want people who keep the machine running smoothly, even if it means sweeping uncomfortable truths under the rug. In fact, those who master the art of telling half-truths or outright lies in a way that aligns with the elite that they want to hear are the ones who rise to the top. This is because Hollywood is not just about entertainment, it is also about pushing certain agendas that keep the system intact. To question these agendas or to step outside of the approved narrative is to risk being excluded. The industry values compliance and loyalty to its elite circles over honesty or integrity. That's why the most successful individuals in Hollywood are those who know how to market themselves in ways that make the elites happy. They avoid these controversial truths and instead parrot the talking points that are fashionable at any given moment. In return for this loyalty, they are rewarded with opportunities, awards, and more visibility. This last clip will make your jaw hit the floor because Monique chose to call out many of the elites that I just talked about.
When we have our juggernauts, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, these are our juggernauts of our community. These are the people that our babies say, when I grow up, I want to be that.
Yes.
I want to be like that. So we have to call those people to the mat and say, listen, what are you teaching our babies? You're feeding poison because you're showing them your private jet. I'm going to show you my mansion. I'm going to show you my fancy cars, but my character is shot and I'm bankrupt. I got a lot of money in my bank. It's more zeros than some of them than we can imagine. But their character, they are bankrupt. Those are bankrupt people. So everybody that Kat sat right here and told you about, I can't wait to see your next interviews with those people.
For a lot of young people, celebrities are the ultimate examples of success. If you're a star, you've totally made it in life, right? But if you take a closer look, it becomes pretty clear that many of those so-called role models don't really have the qualities that make them worth copying. Because if you dig a little deeper, you'll find them tangled up in scandal, leading unhealthy lifestyles, and constantly seeking approval from others instead of focusing on things like kindness and responsibility. Many of them are all about image, status, and material wealth. This creates a twisted idea of what a fulfilling life looks like. Young people might find themselves chasing after these shallow ideals, completely unaware of the darker truths lurking beneath the surface. It's a reminder that fame doesn't equal wisdom, and sometimes the people that we idolize aren't the best examples of how to live. But what are your thoughts on this? Let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends on Facebook, Reddit, everywhere else to keep them in the loop.